Like a truck driver getting caught behind a dumpster with a stripper trying to explain things to his wife, Von Miller keeps trying to explain why he left the LA Rams. Chicharito apologizes for a botched penalty for the Galaxy, and another walk-on makes a positive impact for UCLA football. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It's September 6, 2022. Absolutely delighted to be with you. I want to thank the new subscribers who joined the program yesterday. We appreciate every last one of you. If you like the content that we've been putting out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we have new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. I'm not perfect. Totally aware. Now, before we start going through the news and notes around LA, take a quick look at the scoreboard. Look, the big thing you should know about the Dodgers, their magic number has been trimmed to 8. I bring this up because they lost last night to San Francisco 7-4. Freddie Freeman goes 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a home run. Again, the loss stings, but hey, bigger fish to fry. The magic number is 8. Meanwhile, today, San Francisco is going to play the Dodgers again at 7. That's Tyler Anderson, who's 13-3, versus Wei-Che Huang, who has no record, just like I have no ability to pronounce Asian names. My apologies. So, here's the thing that really kind of irks me a little bit about Von Miller. He comes into the Rams via trade, he plays half the year, really dominates during the playoffs, and so because of that, I think it's pretty fair to say that the Rams would have been in a much tougher position to win the world title without him. So thanks. Appreciate it. But they were under the impression they were going to get him as a free agent during the offseason. And he kept saying, oh yeah, I'm totally interested. Can't wait to run it back. Keep Aaron Donald on the field for you guys. Meanwhile, he's texting all of his friends going, oh, I don't want to be in LA. No, I don't want to. No, screw LA. I'd rather play for the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm from Texas. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with saying that you want to play for your hometown. There's just no point in trying to jerk around the Rams while you're doing it. Just be honest. Hey, thanks for the ring. Enjoyed my time. I don't want to be with you guys anymore. Everybody would appreciate that on some level. But he kept trying to play all sides. And then Dallas, they couldn't get him under the salary cap. So he still doesn't want to go to LA. Still doesn't. He goes to Buffalo. You're going to tell me that Buffalo is more fun than LA? Skeptical of that. But to each his or her own. Just don't lie. But he keeps lying. Keep in mind, by the way, the Rams are playing Von Miller's new team, the Bills, on Thursday. Quote, I could never hate LA, unquote. To which I say, you're a lying sack of crap. There's no need. If you didn't want to play for the Rams, just be honest and let everybody move on with their lives. So, look, man, he should have stayed. He didn't. When it's December and he's got frostbite and gangrene, that's on him, not us. Other notes for the Rams. I mentioned recently that the Rams were $200,000 over the salary cap, which isn't much, but you still got to get under it. Problem solved. They restructured tight end Tyler Higbee's contract. Also, their injured list came out yesterday. The only player on the injured list is wide receiver Van Jefferson. You might recall he had a knee surgery a couple of months ago. He hasn't been practicing. Coach Sean McVay is still making it sound like it's going to be a game time decision, but if you're not practicing and you've had knee surgery and they have 7 other wide receivers to choose from, I wouldn't put money on Van Jefferson making a big difference. By the way, and somebody who should be playing, Brandon Powell, he also had an injured knee. He has been practicing for the Rams. We did a rapid recap on Sunday night of the Galaxy's startling 2-2 draw with Sporting Kansas City. And with the exception of one kick, Chicharito actually had a pretty good game because he scored twice. But the kick that mattered, the kick that had everybody in an uproar, was a botched penalty. And I'm still learning about soccer. I had never heard of the word panenka until Chicharito blew it. What a panenka is when you're taking a penalty, you're going up there and you're thinking, I bet the goaltender's going to dive either left or right. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to lob it straight down the middle, where he certainly won't be. Problem, the goalie read it all the way, didn't budge, and it went right into his arms and chest. A panenka. It takes guts to do that, because if the goalie doesn't move, it's the easiest save in the world. And that's exactly what happened. So he's apologizing. He's apologizing over and over again because he cost the Galaxy 3 points in a playoff race. And honestly, there are Galaxy fans online who aren't happy with him. I, on the other hand, accept the apology. And I want to tell you why I think you should as well. Chicharito has been the public face of every Galaxy failure for the last 3 years. If the front office screws up, and boy have they ever, repeatedly. Do you see Chris Klein coming out and explaining the situation? Do you see anybody in the front office coming out and explaining the situation? No. You know what they do go out and explain the situation? Chicharito. Like he signed the players, which is patently absurd. So they've been forcing him out to take the heat for everything, time and time again. Give the man some street cred. He finally screwed up on his own. Give the poor man a pass. I want to mention that we've talked a lot about UCLA's changing of the way that they approach recruiting. How they pretty much abandoned high school athletes, pretty much. And instead, they've gone through the recruiting portal, and they've definitely accepted a lot of walk-ons during Chip Kelly's tenure. And if you are a football player who walks on for UCLA, you can make something of it. I want you to consider tight end Greg Dulcich, who was a walk-on and last year was drafted by the Denver Broncos. Just because you don't get offered a scholarship in high school doesn't mean you can't make the NFL. And I bring this up because in Saturday's booty kicking of Bowling Green, Josiah Norwood scored a 50-yard touchdown reception as a walk-on. So it has the trend continued over in Westwood. Over the Cap is reporting that the Los Angeles Chargers have spent the 5th most amount of money on free agents during this last offseason. Obviously, most of it's been on defense. By the way, feel free to say hi to Cockblocker the Cat, making her daily cameo appearance. It mattered that the Chargers had spent a lot of money on defense. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop other teams on third down. But there's also another primal reason that the Chargers spent a lot of money. Tom Telesco, the general manager, he's been with the Bolts for 10 years. 10 full years. And he's gotten them to the playoffs twice. This may not be a make or break year for the Chargers, but it is a make or break year for Telesco. Talked about the Dodgers score earlier. We mention every single day they're making little tiny player transactions, people going on waivers, people coming up, people coming down, and sometimes it bites you. Jake Reed was claimed off of waivers by the Baltimore Orioles. Meanwhile, they promoted Justin Bruell to the big club, and stop me if you've heard this before, but Ryan Pepio sent back to the minors. Like we didn't see that coming from 50 miles away. Finally, we mentioned that Jose Cifuentes will be staying with LAFC through the end of the year. He's a young midfielder, 23 years old. He drew a lot of attention during the last transfer window from clubs in the Premier League. Well, just because that transfer window is closed, and just because Cifuentes is going to stay with MLS through the end of the season, the Premier League lasts all winter long into the spring. There will be another transfer window coming up in January. And, Leeds, Brighton, and Newcastle United, they have not stopped expressing how much they want to add this midfielder to their teams. Quote, the sky's the limit for Jose Cifuentes. LAFC's coach Steve Cherundolo saying that. So enjoy him while you can if you're in the black and gold. There's a really good chance you're going to be seeing him at the end of MLS season boarding a plane for England. Now, if you enjoyed this broadcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are trying to build something here for LA sports. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Take care.